In this lecture video, I just want to briefly go over what you'll be doing in the course. Of course, this stuff is laid out on the course website, but this is just a brief overview so that we make sure everybody's on board. Now, this is the primary course text. You're required to have this. You have to have it to do the assignments, including the final exam. It's available as a hard copy, paper book in the campus bookstore or through some other distributor of books. You can also get an e-copy to read on your computer. You can rent those as well as purchase them. So you have to have this. It's where most of the reading for the course will take place. So it's an 8-week course. We have 7 weekly lessons, and then in the last shortened week we have a final exam. And each lesson has activities and its assessments, things you'll do, and then other things you'll do that you'll be graded on. Things, of course, tie into one another. So each week they'll be reading from the textbook, and these will be assigned readings you'll be required to do. Sometimes I'll say skim a certain section, and that's a section you may find something of interest to you, but it's generally not a part that we'll cover in any detail. Sometimes there'll be other readings assigned from outside sources online, and these are usually tied to a specific assignment. And there are weekly lecture videos that explain concepts from the reading, and you can use these in conjunction with the textbook. Either do the lecture video first and then read, or vice versa. Usually reading first helps. And again, occasionally there may be a link to an outside video that will be tied to a specific assignment. One source of assessments we have is discussion questions. They're due weeks 1 through 7. There'll be one each week. Participation in discussion with your classmates each week. Summary reflections, one's due each week. There are 3 short essays that are due in weeks 2, 4, and 6. And there's a final exam in week 8. So we'll go through each one of these. Now there'll be an initial discussion question each week, and you'll be required to answer that, and you have to post your own answer before you can see other people's responses, and there are guidelines for that, and it has to be completed by the deadline. It's Wednesday of each week. And then there's discussion participation, where you must reply at least 4 times to your classmates. That doesn't mean you have to reply to 4 different classmates. It may be 1 or 2 people that you're having a discussion with, but it needs to be at least 4. You can certainly do more if you get into a good discussion. And these need to be spread out a little bit. There's a deadline for everything for the week, but you don't want to wait till the last minute to post your responses. Otherwise, we're not really having a conversation. So they need to be spread out so that we're actually engaging in conversation. This is a way we can learn a lot from one another. And of course, since sometimes we're discussing controversial issues, you always want to show respect for people who have different viewpoints from your own and try to understand what their reasons are, as well as share your own reasons for why you believe what you believe. Also, each week, through weeks 1 through 7, there'll be summary reflections that are due, in which you summarize what we covered through the week, and then provide your own reflection on that material. And there are guidelines for that, of course, on the site. There are essays due in weeks 2, 4, and 6. Now, let me stress that these are short essays, like 300 words minimum to 500 words maximum. And they'll be over specific questions and just get you to be thinking about the issues here. And finally, there'll be a final exam in week 8, and this will be online. It'll be multiple choice, true false type exam. You'll have 2 hours to take it. There'll be open book, open notes, whatever you need to help you do it. You just have to do it within those 2 hours. It counts, a significant part of your grade, but not a whole lot more than other things. But it's just to make sure you kind of got the main ideas. And hopefully we'll have a good time doing all this stuff, and that we'll learn something in this course on healthcare ethics. Cheers.